Ziti Jimo is at the scoreboard with some interesting statistics of the men and women who are running for the top football leadership in the country. Ziti, break it down for us.
Thank you so much, Sila. Of course, I will be telling you the people who will be on the ballot on Saturday. That will be on 7th of December. We'll start, of course, with the only lady who's going to be on the ballot. That is Doris Petra. Now he's the FKF vice president. And then the second one will be Hussein Mohammed. He's the Murang'a Seal vice president. And then again, the third one will be Barry Otieno, who is the former FKF CEO. And then the fourth one, let's go with Tom Alila, he's the former FKF NEC member. And the fifth one, of course, will be Sam Ochola, Gor Mahia Secretary General. And then we'll go with Cleophas Shimanyula, who is the owner of Kakamega and the chairman of Kakamega Homeboys. And then we have Chris Amimo, FKF NEC member. And then, of course, one person dropped from the rest. That is the former FKF president, Sam Nyamoya. And then for the Nairobi race, that is the FKF NEC race in Nairobi City, we have James Masese Macau, who is going to be here, who is here in the studio. We have Isaac Masharia Wambui, who is here again in the studio. Daniel Shikanda is here in the studio, of course. He is the chairman of FC Leopards. We have Daniel Magara Ongware. And then number 5, we have Simon Muga. And then we have Athanas Obala Obango. And then the last one, we have the 7th member, we have Michael Ouma Majua. Those are the people who will be on the ballot on the 7th of December. That will be this Saturday. Back to you, Sila.
Thank you. Thank you, Zita Jimoi there. And of course, now is the time to engage the gentlemen. If you're just joining us, this is Sporty Monday. To my immediate right is Mr. Isaac Masharia Wambui. Welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Yes.
Thank you, namesake, Bon Isaac.
Absolutely. And of course, Dan Shikanda, you are a familiar face in this program. Karibu sana.
Asante.
And to my far right is James Masese Mokua. Karibu sana.
Asante sana.
So, gentlemen, you're all running to be the representatives of Nairobi. That's the NEC members, FKF, that's National Executive Committee member in the Football Kenya Federations. This election goes down this Saturday here in Nairobi. I'll probably start and ask you, probably, Mr. Wambui, why should people entrust you with their vote? Why do you think you are the right man for this job?
First and foremost, I would say Isaac Masharia was born in Kawangware, Nairobi. I've been a sponsor. I've been of a team called Kangemi All Stars. Currently, I'm the chairman of Soccer Sisters. What am I bringing to this football? We remember back in 1948, the President of America, through one of his senior Secretary of State, they started something called Marshall Plan. I have a Marshall Plan for football in Kenya and also in Nairobi. One thing I want to start is to have work-life balance for our players. Our prayers have been neglected to a point that after praying, they are left and they start doing drugs, doing other funny things. I also want to bring sponsorship back to football. We have seen teams going down because of lack of sponsorship. Masharia here is a man of integrity. I've also served in various capacity. Currently, I'm a member of the Governing Council of Kenya Security Industrialization. I've served at KEPSA board in security sector. I've served and continue serving now at Justice of Nairobi, of a parish chairman. And having played football at a young age and being sponsored through my secondary education through football, I feel it's a time for me to give back. I'm a businessman, having employed over 1,000 staff who have feeding over 50,000 families. And out of that, I'm able to sponsor teams and sponsor tournaments. I saw it's great need for me to come on board to be part of the transformation agenda that this country needs.
Yes, this country needs. Just told you there, we'll get into the details of that. Dr. Nanshikanda, the same question I'll pose to you. You are at Leopards. You're the president of Leopards. why should Kenyans entrust you with another seat in the FKF NEC?
I think in our football ecosystem or environment, the plug that is missing is the National Executive Committee, FKF, at FKF. And if that can be fixed, we can see any club winning the championship of this country going further into second round, third round, and even competing at group stages. What do I mean by that? We need the right personalities who actually know where football must go next. Not talking about tournaments, not talking about us coming into football and making clubs pay players. No, clubs are being run by clubs. We need an environment at the National Executive Committee that can engage the government, that can engage FIFA, that can engage CAF, that can engage the corporate sector, and make sure that football, being the biggest industry in the world, is the same in Kenya. That is what is lacking, and that is what I must fix.
Before I go to Masese, but Daktari, you're already president of one of the biggest clubs in Kenya or Africa. For the last 2-3 years you've been there, Leopards have not won the title. What makes you think going to NEC boardroom would probably, or FKF boardroom would change the scenario?
Swila, a football club, it's not only measured by titles. FC has won 13 titles. Yeah?
The last time you did was 1998.
Yes.
That's 22 years ago,
yes.
Or 4.
What does FC have to show for those 13 titles it won? So a football club will be a club once the ecosystem around it is working. We have seen clubs in this country winning leagues back to back and going to continental level. Each year they're eliminated in the first round. I can tell you for free, the problem is not the clubs. Even if today I win the league, I will be eliminated in the first round of Africa Championship. So we actually need to fix up so that it trickles down and makes sure that things are working. And I'll finish by saying this. FC Leopards is working. Anyone who thinks FC Leopards is not working because they have not won any title is a joke. This is the only club that can fill Machako Stadium, Nyayo National Stadium in a league match. So they are not coming because the club is dead. They're coming because the club is alive.
We'll get into that, and we want to see probably how those numbers are trickling probably to your bank account. Mr. Masese, welcome to the program.
Thank you, sir.
Same question. Why people watching or stakeholders are watching,
yes.
Why do you think you're the best man for this job?
Yeah, first of all, my name is James Masese Mokua. I am the CEO of South B All Stars. South B All Stars plays in Division 2, Nairobi West branch. Nairobi West branch. So I have been in football for a very long time at the grassroots levels. So I think I represent where exactly we need to grow our football, which is grassroots. Our football right now is down the trenches, and we really need to put up a foundation to ensure that we have the best in football. I have been there for a very long time, and I have seen what happens when grassroots football is neglected. First things first is the process with which we get leaders who run football in this country should be changed. Other than the other good things that we say when we come, player welfare and everything, if the leaders at the top are not of quality, then all this will just be rhetoric. So my first thing first is working on the constitution just so that to ensure we have a process that brings in quality leadership that will oversee the running of football in this country.
Define this constitution. Are you talking of the FKF constitution, or what are you referring to?
Yes, the FKF constitution and all other rules that govern the football in this country. You see, for example, if I say I am vying to be NEC member, Nairobi, but you see I am required to even go to West Pokot and look for those votes. You see, so the process in itself locks out a lot of people, because when they see what it takes to be NEC member Nairobi, they shy away. So we need to have a process where we can have people from Nairobi, the clubs from Nairobi, directly electing the NEC member for Nairobi, and the role is not just left to 96 or 92 delegates who are spread, like from Nairobi, I only have 2 chairmen, Nairobi West and Nairobi East, all right? Then there are 46 other chairmen that I am supposed to go to and tell them how I will improve football in Nairobi, while at the table, I am supposed to bring everything good to Nairobi. So it is not a must that I go to the other 46 so that it becomes a national executive committee. Just the same way we have the Senate. The senator for Nairobi never campaigned in Murang'a, never campaigned in Nyeri, but sits at the National Senate.
Actually, I was going to pose that question, but now that you've jumped into it, Daktari, I also want your thoughts on that, because you're running for NEC Nairobi, and as Masese says, you guys have to canvass for votes across the country. What value does it add? Because at the end of it all, if you get elected, you are going to serve stakeholders in Nairobi.
Nope. You're not going to serve stakeholders in Nairobi. You're in the National Executive Committee. You are national.
But your constituency is Nairobi,
primarily. Yes, we are just demarcating it that way so that we have each region represented. Remember, football is a tribe, is a language, is unique. So you actually need to traverse this country and know the problems across the region. Because Nairobi, for example, Nairobi, I can say, is favored in terms of infrastructure, in terms of everything. So today, if we are confined to Nairobi alone, it will be unfortunate, and I'll tell you, most of the people vying in this election, once elected or once they lose the election, they will never even step outside the counties that they were actually vying for seats in those countries. So it was by design for you to traverse this country so that you know the problems facing football in the entire country.
So for you, you're okay with that law?
Very okay. That's the best thing. That's the best part of the Constitution, because football is played all over. When we talk about a senator being elected nationally, that senator will not go maybe to have some issues in another region. But football, I run FC Leopards based here. I go to play in all the parts of this country where the fixture dictates me to go. So I should know actually what is happening in that region. And that's why we say we have people seeking for seats, but they don't know the jurisdiction of what that seat entails, what I'm supposed to do with that seat. That seat is supposed to fix football nationally in this country, not in Nairobi. Yes.
Isaac, you've listened to the 2 gentlemen who are actually your competitors and pitch their case. The other gentleman is not comfortable with this law. Dan says it's the way to go. You have to canvass, go through the country, understand the challenges facing people in Samburu as much as those facing people in Kisumu. What's your thought on this?
I would define the word NEC. The word NEC means National Executive Committee. And I concur with my brother, Shikanda. It's true. We need NEC who are able to do it nationally. We are a person who can be able to represent this country outside the borders. A person who can go to coast, who can go to central, a person who can go to every part of this country and be able to articulate issues pertaining football. So being a NEC member, it's like a board of governor in an institution or in a company where you make policies, formulate policies, and make decisions for the well-good of the company. In this case, the vehicle is FKF, but the company is Kenya. I support.
You support.
Yes.
Now, let's go to issues of matters accountability. And this, the Achilles heels in Kenyan football. Dan, you know it. Where you sit, Isaac, I'll begin with you again. What plan do you have? Because it's not just the man you elect at the top, the president and his deputy. It starts from the grassroots.
Sure.
Yeah, because as much as you say football is not taking the right direction, if we have the wrong men managing football at county level and at zonal level, our football can't grow. Matters accountability is a major challenge. What plans do you have in the event you are elected to ensure we have accountability of the resources from FIFA, from corporate sponsors, and partners who come on board to ensure that money goes to the intended use, the footballer?
First and foremost, I would say there's a total wind of change on the people, the branch chairmen who have been elected on various counties. And I see a total overhaul on sides of accountability that the new federation we're going to have. For me, as Isaac Masharia, I know I'm a firm decision. I can make my own decision. I'm accountable to myself. I'm a man of integrity. I'm able to say what is black and what is right. Because the current NEC, they are not able to say, they are not able to express themselves. They are not able to say this is what exactly should be done. I'm not going there at NEC to get more money. I have my resources, I have my own resources. And I know every time I ask my finance manager, how have you spent this petty cash? I want also to take that to the federation, that at any time we have money, we're able to read our audited accounts, we're able to say, FIFA, give us 2 million, we spent this money at the grassroots level, we spent this money at Harambee Stars, because at no time the current leadership has ever be accountable on the resources. More so, you have seen a lot of nepotism when people are told to go to, remember when the last time we participated in Africa Cup of Nations, people went with their girlfriends, their friends, the tickets were being sold at Eastrans for the tickets, airline tickets.
But Isaac, let me, sorry to cut you short. These decisions made at the FKF boardroom or by NEC members, you're saying you're going to push for accountability and change. You find yourself probably as the Lone Ranger voice in that boardroom. And we've seen this in the past. We've seen officials being suspended for probably not reading from the same script as the president.
I'm ready to face the bullet.
So you're ready to bite the bullet?
I'm ready to bite the bullet. We have seen what Gen Z are doing. We have media. We have everything at our disposal that will come out and say, this is going wrong. Please, men of the media, can you come and say this?
And probably there are 8 candidates running for the top seat, if I'm not wrong, beginning with the Doris Petra and whatnot. Are you allied to any camp? And who is your presidential candidate?
I would passionately say I'm part of the Fresh Start.
Fresh Start?
Yes. And my presidential candidate is Hussein Mohammed, assisted by the most decorated player in this country, Mariga.
Okay. Dan, matters accountability, and I'm going to put you on the spot here. Finances at Leopards, player contracts, contractual obligation, and also address the fact that Jan Koop's a Dutch retiree in his 80s is saying you guys have refused to pay him 9 million. You are not picking his calls, particularly you are not returning his text. That's borders on accountability. What are you going to bring in FKF, yet at Leopards probably? There are a lot of grey areas.
Which one should I start with?
Start with Koops.
Koops.
Yeah.
Swila, where did you work last? Just I want to give an analogy. Where did you work last?
You know my history in the media.
Yeah, just
yes.
Standard Group?
No, I was at the Nation Media.
Nation Media.
Yes.
So if today Swila wakes up and says, Nation Media owes me 10 million, is Nation Media obligated to pay you 10 million?
It depends, Dan.
No. Say yes.
You're the president. You're the president.
Let me tell you, for free. AFC Leopards that does not owe Jan Koops any money. You have seen the trend in the market. Anyone owed any money goes to court. Now we have STD, SDT, or goes to FIFA. So I will not entertain everyone calling me. I get over 100 calls of people who played for FC in 1980, of people who played for FC in 1990s, of people who are said they are owed. There must be paperwork. When Koops was coaching FC Leopards, there was Mumias Sugar, and they were being paid salaries. Why does Koops wait? Why does Koops wait when he's sick to say FC owes him? We have tried to help Koops as much as we can, and I think it could have been good for him to come to us and say, I coached your club, I'm now sick, how can you help me?
Define the help you've given the Koops. You've said you've helped him as a club.
Of course, we have tried to facilitate 1 or 2 things. I don't want to go on air saying we've done this, we've done that, we've done that. And we are doing that for very many people who say they did this for Leopards, but now they're in a certain state.
So without fear of contradiction, Dan, you're telling us if Jan went to court, as you're saying, whether it's ADT, SDT, whether it's CAS, International Court of Arbitration for Sport, he won't have any justifiable cause.
I have been at Leopards for 5 years. I have interacted with Koops. We have played in Mumias more than 10 times, more than 20 times. He lives there. I just asked Koops, give me your contract that you had, show me the documentation, and we will pay. We will not refuse to pay.
So you have no problem with that? He needs to provide the
I have no problem with that whatsoever. Mm-hmm. If I am not currently, I'm struggling to pay the current players and the current coaches. Why do you want me to go back 10 years and start paying a coach who coached FC for 10 years and yet cannot put papers on the table? The ones who have put papers on the table, the minutes and the rest, we are paying them. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's not a matter of accountability gray areas. We are outright, forthright, telling people, come and tell us if we owe you. There are so many people. I've paid Abdallah Juma, I've paid so many coaches who brought papers on the table. We have cleared with them.
Fair enough. Still on finances, you've said you want to bring sponsors on board and sitting in NEC, put in a better pedestal to do so. But when you are running for Leopard's chair, actually we hosted you here, and you said, Swila, give me time. I get there, you're going to see a change in Leopards in terms of the corporate sponsorship. Fair enough, we have a shirt sponsor, but that's not enough. It's meager, as you're saying, you're struggling to pay players' wages.
Yes.
And this again will go down to what you're saying. You have the numbers. Leopards fans filling the stadium. Is it reflecting in terms of financial health?
Yes, I can tell you this. We have a problem in this country, yeah, which is me and you. And when I talk about Leopards, when I talk about the numbers coming to the stadium, I can tell you very few people pay at that stadium entrance. For example, when I play at Nyayo National Stadium, you see the main stand. The main stand gets full, leave alone the terraces around. But less than 10 people the main stand pay. In all matches, be it an international match for other teams, that is our culture. I can tell you without fear of any contradiction, I have brought sponsorship to FC Leopards. Anyone who looks at FC today and looks at FC 5 years ago or 6 years ago, there is a big difference, like day and night.
Big difference like day and night?
Yes. And I can tell you where we are going, for example, as FC Leopards. We are almost there. The only thing FC has not done is win a title.
Win a title.
Yeah.
And of course that will haunt you until you being...
Why should it haunt me?
Big clubs win titles and you need...
Of course. Liverpool took how long to win titles? Liverpool took how long?
So you want Liverpool to take another 10, 20 years?
I am not saying that, but I'm just asking you a question. You know, when you are a manager or when you are in charge of any institution, make sure you will be judged by what you have surmounted in terms of what could have brought down the institution, and hand over that institution alive and kicking, and people will know.
Because of time, one more round, but
I haven't finished answering your question.
I'll come back to you. Let's hear from Asese, and I'll ask the same question.
Yes.
Financial accountability. What are you going to do in the event you are elected?
I'm going to do a lot of things, but before I go to that, when I listen to the president of AFC Leopards, I see someone who's very pessimistic. First, he started by saying, even if FC Leopard wins the league, they'll be eliminated in the first round when they go for the Champions League or CAF Confederation. That is someone who really doesn't have hope. Right now he's saying, as the president, he is on record saying that when the pitch is full with fans at the main stand VIP, less than 10 people pay. You see, that is someone who, I don't know if mismanagement or lack of leadership can be manifested in any other way. But now to my point, accountability. I've been in the grassroots football. You see, grassroots football is not like AFC where there are fans who pay or even shirt sponsors. When you see people who are running clubs at Division 2, regional or some, those are people who go into their pockets to fund these clubs. So on matters accountability, I've already used my own resources to make sure that the team is at where it is. Just to point out that my team, another team called Kawasaki, it played at the finals of Sakaja Cup. We were beaten by Githurai, and we were awarded 2 million. Money that was distributed equally among the players and those people who participated. I personally, I am a trained civil engineer. I am in business, I work, I have my own resources, so I have no business coming into plundering public resources in terms of what is there in football. So I am a very accountable person. I hold very high integrity, and that's why, as a young man, I decided that I want to give it a shot at the National Executive Committee so that I bring the expertise that I have, other than just complaining every day that the people at the top are taking our footballs to the drainage. So I want to be there myself and offer solutions.
You're saying you're young. How young are you, Masese?
Me, I am 34 years old.
You're 34 years.
Yes, yes.
And probably, before I go back to him, I want to ask you the question of, he said it's Tim Hussein.
Yes.
Which camp are you in, and who is your presidential candidate and why?
I am a very independent candidate.
You're not supporting, not aligned to either of the camps?
Anyone who is elected will be my president, and I'll work with them.
Dan, you are aligned to which camp?
Sila, there's a question you asked about accountability.
I'll come back to it. Are you aligned to any camp?
I'm independent.
Independent?
Yes.
So you're not rooting for any presidential candidate?
I'm independent, but I'll vote for the best.
But I've seen you meet quite a number of them.
Sila, I want you to understand, and I know you understand. I am a delicate delegate.
Delicate delegate?
Yes. Reason being,
yes,
I am a voter, number one. And
so you're open to hearing their policies?
I'm also vying. It will be important to vote from a point of information.
Fair enough.
I have to listen to everyone. I want change as much as anyone else in this country.
So for now, none of them has convinced you to deserve your votes? You've met quite a number, but you're saying?
We are voting. I've met 6. I remain with 1. I'm meeting 1 tomorrow.
So after that, probably you're going to make the call. Real quick, because we're out of time, I would have loved to continue.
I have not answered one question.
I'll come to you, Danny. Okay. I'll come to you. Mr. Isaac, the question is voter bribery in the run-up to this election, and we all know it. We've had a case, delegates, which in this case you are guys going to cast the ballot for the president, being put in hotels, locked up there. There's a security keeping a watchful eye over you, and basically to the highest bidder taking up the votes. How are you dealing with this? And have you been approached with these bribes, Macharia?
Before I respond to that, I do want to tell Shikana, he was once a Nairobi branch chairman. He never did anything for Nairobi. I remember back when he was being elected as an AFC member, chairman in 2020, August, he promised them he's going to bring corporate governance to AFC. And he also promised them again he's going to build a stadium from the 20-acre land that they had. Up to date, nothing. And also beg him, he should pay that Muzee. Muzee is right. He cannot go to the media and say that I'm owed money. Regarding the voter bribery, it has not been happening. It has been happening to the current regime.
The current regime?
Yes.
Have you been approached so far, Isaac? With,
I think me, they know live wire. I'm one of the most cleanest people in Kenyan football, and they have not approached me.
You've not been approached?
I've not been approached. But
in the event the millions come calling?
Once again, I said I have my own resources. I've struggled from a boy from slums to be a CEO of a big security company in Kenya. I'm not ready to be compromised with those millions, because those millions, I'm destroying the future of that young man in Kawangware, how I was born, praying barefooted. I'm destroying that future of a northeastern. Yesterday, I was in Bomet, and I saw under 17 playing on barefoot in this time and era. Barefoot. Very good players playing on barefoot. Absolutely. That 1 million will not assist me in anything, but I'll be destroying the future.
Real quick, Danny, on the same.
I think he's not comprehending things because he's not a voter.
My concern...
No, you don't need to be a voter.
No,
my concern
about football.
My concern does not make me get that money. Yes. Shikana has gone to everybody.
Excuse me?
He has come out as very indecisive candidate. And, you know, everybody is wondering, is this the Shikana we knew? The former Mangu High School? Alumni.
Okay, really quick.
Let me answer you. There are no millions being poured.
How much is being poured?
I'm telling you, there's no money.
Receiving, he can tell us.
There's no money being poured. And, you know, we have to come and face facts. Not just start bickering and we don't know what you're talking about. Let me tell you something. We have 90 delegates who are going to vote.
92, if I'm not
wrong. No, it's 90. Nyamira is not voting, Homabay is not voting. They didn't do elections. And then, those 90 delegates deserve, why are you not a delegate? Why is he not a delegate? Why is he not a delegate? Those delegates have spent time in this football. If today I'm to calculate what time they spend and monetize it, it's over 10 million between the 4 years, the last 4 years, for them now to come and vote for this election. If you ask for those delegates to come and meet you, I think you must, just from a professional point of view, meet their transport, meet their fuel. So I can tell you, the delegates coming to vote on the 7th are very intelligent people. Have taken the burden of football in this country. You know, people just talk about, oh, the delegates will be bribed, the delegates will be what? Those guys, you cannot bribe them.
But Daddy, we have on record the last election, and your good friend Ambrose Dixon Otieno Rachir ran and he lost. And even the candidates themselves were saying, this is what happened.
Yes.
These people are locked in a hotel. This is what happened.
Swila, you sell your dreams. It's unfortunate Team Change, through Nick Mwendwa, sold dreams that they were not able to fulfill. Guys have burden of running their clubs. Guys will have burdens of running their counties in terms of, I am the chairman of, let's say, he's mentioned Bomet. Football rests on my shoulder. You're the governor of football, you're the governor in that area in terms of football. You don't have any resources from the government, you have to run football. So anyone selling you a great idea, you'll buy it. So this thing of delegates being bought, being done, I can tell you, it's just wishful thinking. No delegate will go there and vote for Dan Shikanda because Dan Shikanda gave him money. He'll go there to vote for Dan Shikanda because knows the problem in the National Executive Committee, the problem of football in this country is National Executive Committee, which is the engine of football in this country. Absolutely. And any member to be elected in that position must be a member who can even be a president of football in this country.
Mukua, we are out of time, but 30 seconds, your final remarks.
Yeah, so you see, when Dan, you say you speak about facts, you should say those are your opinions. It is a fact. You see, it is also my opinion that voters get bribed, and so you cannot say it's a fact that they don't get bribed.
So how many have you bribed to win the seat?
Be that as it may, I've not won the seat, and I'm not bribing anyone. Okay. But with, I mean, as Phil said, it is known. It is known. But
have you been approached?
You see, I'm vying. No one will be bribing me.
And are you giving out?
No, I'm not giving out bribes. And you see, I have traveled to all these places. So I don't need to give anyone transport. I meet them at their place. I go to West Pokot, I meet the chairman there. So maybe we sit in a hotel and we drink tea. I'll pay for the bill that we have drunk tea or something. Or other chairmen are even generous, and they pay for me, right? I'm a young man. I mean, I'm bringing change to this football.
Okay.
But having said the same,
yes.
There are some tangible things that I think should change in terms of grassroots football. Like I was saying, and I have said to many chairmen, when politicians have their rallies, they are given police for free, you get? But when the Div 2 and other people, the football lovers, when they play, they have to pay for police. This is something that is tangible. When we meet with these people, once I am elected at this level, and ask the president or the national police if we can be given police for free, just like the same way other politicians are given police for free.
Gentlemen, we're out of time.
There is a question I haven't
But we have had a lot of time.
We don't have time.
You are more
than
than
keep this conversation going, because we can go on and on even for 2 hours, but it still won't be sufficient. But I want to take this time to thank you for coming, and of course that's James Masese, far left, and of course Isaac Macharia Wamboi to my immediate right, and at the center Daktari Dan Shikanda. They are all vying for the Football Kenya Federation National Executive Committee seat, and here we are talking about Nairobi. You've heard their pitches, and of course, they are running alongside 4 others. That decision going to be made this Saturday here in Nairobi. And of course, as the delegate, as the stakeholder, make it count by making the right decision. And of course, today, the question of the day we are asking you, what's your expectation as delegates converge in Nairobi to elect the new FKF president? Talk to us, 22422, the SMS line. You can also X us at Citizen TV Kenya, at Isaac Swila. And of course, we will be sampling some of your thoughts at the tail end of the program. Sporty Monday.